One idea about my editing is I want to fix something which comes to a special point, but sources are already in my brain or in the way I have seen things, and now I put it together. For example, I've read something and I liked it very much, and now I think about having this in a dialogue with pictures. So I ask illustrators to illustrate the tolle Hefte. Illustrators, I have seen their work before in high school. I've sometimes traveled to do kind of teaching in high schools, only half a day, and kind of show and tell. I bring books, I talk about these books, about illustration, my ideas behind, and also about my, let's say, lifestyle, what I like in life, how I live, what I do, what I collect. I visit museums, I go to places as comic festivals. I like very much to meet people in the comic area, and so when I get ideas, these ideas get boiled. They come to a point where it fits in a pen, and then I suddenly there's the idea of a special book. And this book, in getting in existence, often is changing from the original idea to something else. The artists for the books I'm editing are very on their own. They can do what they like. When I choose somebody, I believe that he will do a good work. And I don't change much. I don't argue much. I see with some talks about the book, I see that there's something developing, and I try to be not too harsh, not too much the director. And this helps that the tolle Hefte gets this very individual touch. For example, when I met Atak for the first time, I asked him to do a tolle Hefte, and he asked me, what shall I do? Do you have a proposal? Mm-hmm. And I said, perhaps you have a proposal. And he said, yeah, I like a very short thing of Gertrude Stein very much. The title is Ada. I didn't know the piece. It was in a collection I never had seen before. So I read it, only 3-4 pages, and I liked it very much. And I said, that's it, great. And it took 8 years. 8 years, in which time Atak did books, illustrated, painted big paintings, traveled, was getting a professor at a high school, and one day he said, I want to get Ada out of my brain. I have always this Ada in my brain, and now I want to do it. When can I have it published? And I said, I propose something, and you can do the next tolle Heft. And he said, okay, when shall it be finished? I said, in 3 months. After 3 months, Ada came into existence. And every dot is kind of a dot book. Many dots in colors he did. In this very special technique, he is done by hand, everything without the computer. It's a really very interesting work he did, and he worked for it nearly 3 months. And then we had only 32 pages and only one edition of, I think, about 4,000 copies. and it came out beautiful, and it's now published in these days in Great Britain by a very interesting publishing house, No Braw. No Braw in London is publishing. They published a Black Spolex heft I edited, and now they published other, and it looks wonderful. So this was one way to come to a Tolle heft after 8 years. And asking me what the next will be, there is a former student of Anke Feuchtenberger in Hamburg. Her name is Gorja Machon. She's a wonderful painter and illustrator, and she will do the next Tolle heft. She will illustrate a very, very strange, fantastical, absurd story of Brigitte Kronauer. And this is really one of my favorite stories I read about 5 years ago. And the title is Im Gebirg, which means in the mountains. And it's very, very, very strange. I'm sure only very few readers will like it. But these readers will like it very, very much. So this absurd story is now in preparation, and when it will be published in March next year, at the publishing date we will have an exhibition here in München in my small gallery. I started just 6 weeks ago with an exhibition of drawings and gouache of Black Spolex, one of my favorite artists and comic artists. And I'm really happy to have this next Tolle heft in preparation, and I'm waiting for this exhibition. When you ask me who will be the reader, who will buy the Tolle heft, which people do that, who is interested in these only small things coming nearly irregular, only twice a year, and differing from one issue to the next issue. In the first instance, I do these things for me, because there's so much involved in editing such a booklet, that this process of meeting somebody, arguing with him, looking at his work, is so interesting. It's so making me think, making me in the end happy, that I do these chapbooks for me. But of course I hope that many others, not too many I think, will like these experimental chapbooks, and will enjoy strange texts. The last issue, for example, was a text by Julio Cortázar, an author I like very, very much, I adore, and I found a story. I tried to find something unedited, and there was a book in Argentina with this unedited text about 2-3 years ago, and I found a story in it, and I tried to get that translated and to put it in the Tolle heft. And then, by doing research, I found in the internet that this story wasn't an unedited story. It was the first version of an edited story. And this first version was kind of juvenile, not so good as the story that came out in the end. And this story I saw was already published in Germany in a book many years ago. So I took this story, which in the first impression was for me very interesting, because it's showing the Cortázar, who is also the translator of Edgar Allan Poe's work, with a very vague, with a story in a very strange balance between fantasy, dreams, unconsciousness, and reality. And it's about water and what's in the water and the consistence of water. And this is a very good medium to show how something isn't to be explained in one word, in one. You can't give it. Let's say a stable format. It has to be in balancing between different medias, and so I found somebody, Franziska Neubert, who is doing woodcuts, and she gave these indifference of water very nice impressions in pictures. I like it very much. The printing was complicated. We had to choose very special colors to get this darkness of water we wanted to have in it, and very dark blue. The printer chose a color with more pigments than usual, and so this is a tolle heft which is still smelling very strange of colors, and because we had to put very much color on the pages. This is also one of my favorite chapbooks, and when I think about favorites, it's always changing. When I look in the old samples, I look at Henning Wagenbrett's booklet, which came out with a very strange Napoleon farmer. I like it very much, and I like the witty books by Axel Scheffler, who is more in children books, and who hates this technique of separating colors because he is a more spontaneous artist. So it's always hard to say which is the real favorite. Of course, I like the ones Rotraud Susanne Berner does, because here is the chance not to do children's books, but to do something with no age limitation. And I like her chapbooks also very much.